Okay, we'll start with Federalist number 3 by John Jay. It is not a new observation that the people of any country, if, like the Americans, intelligent and well-informed, seldom adopt and steadily preserve for many years in an erroneous opinion respecting their interests. That consideration naturally tends to create great respect for the high opinion which the people of America have so long and uniformly entertained of the importance of their continuing firmly united under one federal government vested with sufficient powers for all general and national purposes. So here Jay is reminding the American people that you are too wise and you're really, really smart, and even if you had an erroneous opinion, even if you had made a mistake at one time, if you had the wrong opinion at one time, you will not continue to keep that bad opinion. You will correct it. You will learn because you're wise. And we have seen in American people that they have shown their wisdom by wanting to stay in the Union, by staying united. Again, Jay here is trying to show the positive side of everything to the people who will be reading these. Because at this time, it was not clear whether most of the American people wanted to be in a union or not. But he constantly uses rhetoric, uses good words, proper sentences, things that Americans want to hear, to let them know that it is a good idea, it's a good thing that you're wise enough to want to stay in this union. And it's actually surprising that he uses the word national here, because at that time, vast majority of Americans did not want to hear the word national when it came to government, because they said we had just broken away from Britain, that distant power, and they almost saw the same thing, like somebody in Georgia, South Carolina, if the capital was going to be here, you're talking about almost 20 days of trip. It's 20 days worth of travel. So they're thinking that's almost as far as the other side of the ocean. So if we continue to say national, that means almost like we've given power to a government, whatever you want to call it, that is so distant from us that we cannot rely on it to listen to us. So it's very important to remember that it would take them 2 to 3 weeks to come from Georgia or South Carolina to one of these northern states, because they had to get on a stage coach or something like that, or ride their own horses. You're talking really difficult traveling conditions. So to them it was almost like another country. So keep that in mind. But Jay here uses the tool of rhetoric. He wants to persuade Americans that yes, you're united, stay smart. And then the next paragraph, he says, the more attentively I consider and investigate the reasons which appear to have given birth to this opinion, the more I become convinced that they are cogent and conclusive. He says, the more I think about it, the more I think about the reasons that you Americans or we in general want to stay united, want to stay in the Union, I come to a conclusion that they are almost cogent and conclusive. Not only they sound real well, they make a lot of sense, they're very reasonable and conclusive, and they actually cover everything. They answer all our questions. It almost answers all the questions to where there is no other argument. It concludes everything. But here it just kind of means comprehending, covers everything. Okay, now we go to the next paragraph. Among the many objects to which a wise and free people find it necessary to direct their attention, that of providing for their safety seems to be the first. The safety of the people doubtless has relation to a great variety of circumstances and considerations, and consequently affords great latitude to those who wish to define it precisely and comprehensively. So focus on the word safety. It says one of the, if not the most important thing, one of the most important things we want in the government is to provide for our safety. Because if there's chaos, then anything goes, and liberty is going out the door, property is going out the door. You can't have peace and happiness. So naturally, when people come together to form a government, they say the most important thing, the very first step, is our safety, so that we can safeguard our liberty, peace, and prosperity and happiness. You can't have a situation where bandits, thieves running around, stealing from everybody, and that's not a peaceful, a good society. What kind of government is it if it cannot provide for the safety of its population? So he wants to remind them of safety, because during the course of this paper, during the course of this essay, he wants to say that if we 13 states unite together, we will get stronger and we can better provide for the safety of our population than if we stay disunited. Then South Carolina might think Virginia is cheating them, and they might pick a fight, and then North Carolina in the middle might have to side with one of them or go with the other. Then you'll have states warring amongst each other and spending all their money, all their energy, all those human resources on making sure that the other state doesn't get stronger. So the whole business of prospering because of peace and quiet is gone out the door. You don't have anything like that. And you get desperate enough and you find the first strong man, the first dictator, the first tyrant, and you say, keep me safe. I will do anything you say. That's why we have to form a government when we have time, like it said in Federalist number 1, based on reflection and choice, and not wait to be desperate, where we have to form a government under accident and force, where some tyrant comes and tells us, this is what you'll do, and if you don't follow my orders, I will have my troops kill you, take your property, plunder, loot, and you won't have anything left. So that is why he says safety, liberty, and union. Without it, we 13 states are going to go into war, and madness will happen, craziness will happen. The British, the French, the Spanish will pit us against one another. In other words, they will encourage us to fight the other states, and when there's chaos, they can easily manipulate the people. They can easily put one state against another, and the empires, the British, French, and Spanish, the monarchs, those kings will stay powerful, whereas we, who are trying to set a republic here and be the first example to mankind that a strong representative republic can exist on its own, we will be weak and we will be slave to those monarchical powers. So keep that in mind.